Looking to improve your life, brush up on your personal growth techniques? You are in the right place. Welcome to Life's Little Lessons with your host, author of Designing Your Own Destiny, Kevin A. Dunlap.
Hello and welcome back to Life's Little Lessons, the show that is to help you with your entrepreneurial backgrounds. Now, my name is Kevin Dunlap, and I have a special guest for our show today. This is a lady that we've actually run across paths probably about over the last 3 years is how long I think we've known each other. Her name is Noa Schecter. She's been the different kinds of coaches that I've met in the past, and she's been a great inspiration for me. The name of her company, she's the co-founder of Accelerated Leadership Academy, and she's a communication and empowerment coach. Noa, welcome to the show.
Hi, Kevin. Thank you so much for having me here today. I'm so excited. Yes, it is 3 years, even though it feels like I just met you yesterday.
Yes.
And our path is kind of like, sometimes I see you at events, sometimes we meet, sometimes we just network. So it's such a pleasure to be here today.
And it's a great pleasure having you here as well. When I was first coming up with the premise of this season of the show, I was writing down names of the people that I wanted to be on the show, and you were one of the first ones I came up with because we and I've talked before about your coaching business. I've come to California where you live. And, we've talked about stuff. You've been here to Las Vegas a couple of times. We got crossed paths, and we're actually going to be seeing each other here very soon. It's going to be after the show has been broadcasted, or actually it's going to be before the show when the show is being broadcasted. But I'm looking forward to seeing you here in the next few weeks.
Same here. Same here.
So Noa, tell me a little bit about yourself. What is it that you do, and why is it that you do it?
Okay, what do? I help people to move people forward in their life and help them to create the success that they want to have, they want to achieve. That's what I do. It's either it's individual, or I do seminars. I have a business partner, his name is Phil Black, and we work together with entrepreneurs that at some point they are stuck, okay? Or they don't even start because they have the idea, they have the passion, but they need like the push. Or we work with people that are getting results, but the result is not enough. They want to move forward. So that's what we do.
Okay, so you're mainly working with entrepreneurs then?
Yes.
Okay, and now what stage of their business are they already have started a business, or have they're trying to scale it, or you work with people that have the idea and kind of like myself, did you have to actually get started with that business?
Yeah, it's all of the above, because sometimes we have people like today, if you think about it, how many people do we know that they have maybe a job, but they're also already starting a new venture, or they have an idea for another gig that they want to start, or they have a passion that they want to make it their full-time job. That's number one. I talk to so many people, and when we go to our event, so many times I see people, hey, what do you do? So they tell me what they do according to the nature of the event, okay? So if it's entrepreneurs, say, hey, I have my own company and this is what I do. But maybe they have something else. We met so many people, so they have like 1, 2, 3 ideas. They have a main job and they have 2 other things. And right now it could be, I'm involved with World Financial Group, for example, and I'm creating my license as a financial advisor, while they say I'm also involved in this networking company. So I realized that people today, they want to have more. So sometimes they spread themselves too thin, or sometimes it's good to have 2, 3 businesses. However, they're lacking skills. Okay, how do I manage that? Having 3, 4 ideas or 3, 4 companies and be successful. What is the formula? So we realize that many times people that have one successful business not necessarily going to be successful in the same business. Okay, or they may have a day job and they're dreaming about starting something else, but they're lacking the skill. If you're an employee right now and you need to have the mindset of a CEO, okay, or a person that owns the company, how do you do it? They don't know. They're still thinking somebody is going to come and tell me what to do, which they need to take ownership of the company. They need to like make a switch. How do I run my company now? And they don't know how to do it.
And it's a mental switch that they have to do.
Exactly.
Okay. And how long have you been doing this for?
We started the company. We started about talking, like I'm like everyone else. We were talking about it 2 years ago. Prior to that, I was doing coaching 101. And then I met my business partner and we decided that, yeah, this is something would be great to work together. We collaborated, we opened a company, but now after last year, for this year, we realized we, like everyone else, we tried, we did a lot of public speaking, we had seminars, but the more we do now, we realize when we need to kind of be more focused about where the company is heading and who are our clients.
Okay, so are you still doing a lot of speaking engagements and seminars?
Yes, we do. We just had one last month in San Diego called A Day with the Masters, and that was so perfect. The end of the year, beginning of the year, so people like were open to the message and to transform their life.
Okay, and would you mind sharing how many people attended your event?
25 people.
Okay. Fantastic. And now we have mutual friends that do other forms of getting their message out there. Like myself, I do podcasts. That's one of the things I started doing. I don't know if you know Diane Forster. She does a lot of her on every Wednesday. She has her own webinar show that she delivers content every week.
Right.
Now, do you do other things along those lines? Or, I mean, I know you're probably pretty busy with the seminars.
Yes, actually, what we did last year, we had 2 programs called Momentum 1 and Momentum 2. Each Momentum was 90 days. So in those 90 days, we have participants that join us and we take them on a road, on a path to success, because you and I know, we go to an event, we see everybody is like, hoo-ha, rah-rah, excited, I'm going to change my life, and Monday come and nothing happened. It's very rare to see people that are follow through, because when you are in that environment, we want to succeed. We want to do what the trainers is telling us what to do. But here's what happened. We're going to go home, life started affecting us. Doubt started affecting us. Like, wait, I said I'm going to do it. Can I really do it? Would I have the finance to do it? I mean, who's going to support me? Am I really capable? So the little doubts start coming up to the surface because there's no one to support you. Or you may start, and after 2 weeks, something happened, and you're like, oh, and then you start kind of neglecting your decisions, and then you're not so motivated. So when we do Momentum, this is exactly what we do. It's a lesson, okay, every week, a lesson. There's a follow-up, there's a laser coaching, there's a webinar, there's one-on-one coaching. So when people that came with us for 90 days, we nurture them, okay? We make sure they're doing the right thing. We make sure if some of them will notice, they haven't been on the show for like 3 weeks in a row, something wrong. We would call them, hey, come back. What is it that you missed? Let me help you. So it was beautiful because we create momentum for the people, for our entrepreneurs. And at the same time, we push them, we help them to push them forward with what they need, with what they want to achieve. So there's a great support system, the way we do it.
Oh, so it actually sounds like a wonderful program. So it's Momentum 1 and Momentum 2. Are these ongoing? Are you going to be relaunching these programs again?
Yeah, because of the success that we had with our participant, we are going to do Momentum again, but this year, of course. And then the reason I'm saying it, we're like everything else. We last week we met the company. And we're like, we check what did we do right last year. We kind of assessment. We did an assessment for the year, and the next thing we would like to do, we like to automated Momentum. So it's going to be half of the program is going to be automated. The other half going to be live through webinars.
Okay. Well, I know with webinars, you can even pre-record those and then send those out as well. So, because I've done live webinars and which were interactive, but I've also done pre-recorded webinars where, where I'll be recording something. This is for those of you out there that are entrepreneurs that are looking to do some kind of coaching business. Is get on a webinar program like Webinar Jam or GoToWebinar, or one of those other programs out there, and you can create your own content, and you just do it over and over again, and you watch the webinar, or you do it live every time, and you watch how it's going, and you've done it 3, 4, 5 times. You know which parts work, which parts don't work, and if you record them, now you find the one that was best, and then you can just make that your upcoming webinar coming up next month for new clients.
Right,
so,
right. I do.
Okay. And so you've been, because I've met Phil a few times, and we both met him through another personal growth company. And it's kind of funny how you said that, at the very beginning. You were talking about, someone that has a job, and there's, is this going to work? And then they do, they're working on that second business, their entrepreneur business. And what if it fails? Then a lot of times, or after they leave an event like the events that we've been to, they're all rah, 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 and they never do anything. That was actually kind of reminding me of the founder of the company that we met at, a gentleman by the name of T. Harv Eker. And it was on his 8th business before he launched the company. At that time was called Peak Potentials. And that was launched by having 6 people in his living room. So,
and that's why, okay, so this is what we're changing. Why do you need, as a person, as an entrepreneur, to go through 8 businesses, or to fail 8 times, or not to be successful before you realize if it's really for me? So this is part of what we do when we work with our clients. One of the things we do is like, is this, and it happens to us. We had clients that wanted to do an X business, and working with us, they realized this is not a business for you. If you hate people, like so many people don't like to be around people, and you have an idea for a business that you're absolutely passionate about it, that required you to be engaged with so many people and to talk, I mean, is this the right a right business for you? And at the same time, let's say you're still passionate about it. Okay, so now we come with the solution. The solution is maybe either to have a partner or to have an employee that help you on the areas that are not your strengths. So
Right.
this is one area, this is one way of helping our clients. It's also to work with them with like, okay, what works? Let's assess it. What are the things that work for you? What are the things that are passionate about? Okay, great. Take an event that was extremely successful. What was the model? Like, we really dissected, like, what was it that made you successful? Is it the business, the time, the people were involved? I mean, what make it like that you got, what make it that successful, so you got the result that you want to get? Now, at the same time, if you try to do something, I say try, and it didn't work, or you didn't get the result that you want, what is it there? What was there? What was the block? Was it you? Was it like, sometimes could be, obstacles that you have no control. You were sick, a family member got sick, something happened in the family, you were laid off. We don't know. So we also, and because the reason I'm saying it, people have a tendency to look at their failure. If one thing did not work this year, they look at just one thing that didn't work this year and say, oh my God, look at me, I'm a failure. So first of all, before you are focused on your failure, on your fails for the year, we're looking again and say, okay, let's see at your success, from small success to biggest success for the year. And then after that, we look, okay, we don't call it a failure, because in order to be successful, like T. Harv Eker, he had to try 8 times before he founded this company, before the company took off. So I am sure if you talk to him today, he would say that all his failures, kind of to say, all his trying new other companies before, the reason it failed, because maybe he needed something. Maybe he wasn't ready. There's so many maybes, but I'm sure he learned from each experience. Okay. Mm-hmm. So what we're saying is, okay, it's not a failure. It's the road to mastery. You did something, you tried, it didn't work, now you move on, or you just improve what you started with. And
I've actually said that a few times on the show, and I know you're certified practitioner in NLP. I think you're master's certified, aren't you?
Master's practitioner.
Yes, and I'm also a certified practitioner as well, not master, but certified. And one of the presuppositions in NLP is there is no such thing as failure, just feedback. So, and my company, Plentiful Perspectives, one of the reasons I call it that company is there's always multiple ways of looking at anything. So, if you started a business and it went bankrupt, or you had to close the doors, what is it that worked? What is it that didn't work? And then and learn from that, because all it is feedback.
Right. And like you said, look at it from a different angle. I can give an example. One of these suggestions when we work with our community, we tell them, assess your day. Every time before you go to sleep, here's a tip, assess your day. I mean, you gotta have your goals in front of you all the time. And when you are at the end of the day, you're looking at your goals and say, okay, here's what I did today. Here's my achievement. How my achievement for today brought me closer to my goals, okay? Because this evaluation, by the end of the day, is important, because you start realizing, okay, did I waste time today? I was on the phone for an hour with my body. Okay, did it help me to bring me closer to my goal? Okay, I watched TV for 5 hours because I got hooked on this TV series or Netflix or whatever. Is this helping you to achieve your goals? So, and there's no judgment there. If you feel sometimes that, my God, I was so stressed, I worked too hard, I needed downtime, great. Allow it to yourself, but be very strategic about it. Like, maybe allow yourself to go and have a good time with friends, but make sure maybe these friends, I'm networking at the same time. Or if you do need the downtime, just have a good time. Go to the beach, meet your friends, go out, and make sure it's all in balance. Because if you want to create your own company and you have too many things going on, but at the same time you're going out every night, or meet your friends, or on the phone, or on social media, is when you go on social media, how much time you're spending really promoting your business or promoting yourself or helping you to move toward your goal. If you're in social media connecting with people because you're very strategic, great, continue to do it. It's very important. So you don't evaluate yourself just at the end of the year, like many of us did in the last few days. The evaluation has to be very strategic. It has to be every day, every week, every month.
And actually, I would like that what you're saying there, because whatever you measure is going to get accomplished. So if you are, like, say, back in 2010, and I've said this a few times, I wanted to lose 70 pounds in 90 days, and I only got down 60 pounds in 90 days. However, I was weighing myself every single morning. I mean, that may be healthy or may not be healthy to do that, because you are going to have fluctuations. But I was saying, am I accomplishing this goal this huge goal that I set out for myself? If your goal is hey, I want 5 paid coaching clients, okay, fantastic. What are you doing today? What networking things are you going to? What are you doing on social media? Who are you talking to? How are you engaging the public to get that first client? Then what are you doing to get the second client? Are you asking for referrals? Are you getting it from other people, or do you even do more networking? But right. You have to write down, like you just said, what was the accomplishments that you've had for that day. And I really like that. I mean, I didn't think about it that way as far as the business is concerned, but that's a very good piece of information right there.
Thank you. Are you ready for another piece of information?
Sure.
That I do and helps. It works. I'm giving you all my secrets right now.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah, something else that works, and I started doing it a few years ago, and I'm especially sharing it with you now because it's the beginning of the year. Every year, I have a word that I choose as my leading word for the year. It could be a word or it could be a sentence. Okay. So a few years ago, when I went to my coaching school, I remember my word was knowledge. And I went to so many schools that year, gained so many certifications because that was my word. Then I wanted to know how is this word the following year. So, okay, now I want to see, I want to coach. I want to see what kind of coaching I can do. So the next year, my word was exploring. Oh boy, and I explored so much. I remember I was like talking to people, exploring new way of coaching people, going to so many seminars. That's how I met you that year. My word was exploring. And then last year, this is funny, my word was expanding. And oh boy, I paid the price for expanding. And I remember I said, I want to expand. And I did expand. I gained 10 pounds last year. But that was important because I knew, I was afraid it's going to happen. But that's okay, because my idea was, how do I expand myself to reach out to people that I haven't reached out to, the company. I wanted to expand my company, which I did. I'm sharing with you, you know me, I'm not the most techie person, okay? I do understand the basic, and I have teams and people work with me. They do the technology for the company. And I'm on the committee in Beverly Hills. Chambers of Commerce just started in Beverly Hills, started a new committee. It's the tech committee, right? I'm on this committee. I helped to create an event in Beverly Hills. I'm not a member of Chambers of Commerce, and I'm on a tech committee. And the person that is really, she's in charge, he really likes my idea. And I remember the first meeting, I was sitting there. It's like all these techie people, entrepreneurs, starting their business, have a business. And we were thinking about how to expand the company. I realized that I give them the most advice, and it has nothing to do with my technical background. It was using my coaching experience to help everyone in the room, okay, how to move from where we are right now in the room to have a successful event, which we had a few weeks ago. We had about, 80 people, 100 people coming to this event, first event. So, and then another thing, I'm also involved with company in Israel that is entrepreneurs, and helping entrepreneurs in Israel to penetrate to the American market, and helping innovators here to build their company overseas. I'm expanding. I'm sitting right now in meetings, and I'm talking to people that if you would tell me a year ago, no, you're going to do it, I'll laugh. I say, yeah, sure. But that was my word, to expand. So I'm like international now. So my word for next year is like, okay, I expand. I have the relationship. So what is my goal right now is revenues. Okay. So my goal right now is revenues. And I'm working toward it.
And I like the way that you're saying that you pick a phrase or sentence, that you were calling it, or word, a specific word, and you focus on that word for the entire year. Now, at the recording of this episode, we're actually in January, just a few days into January of 2018. And I don't usually date the show because this may not come out until March, or possibly even later. But however, that's why she said her word for the year now is revenue. So now is how are you going to be building that? And one thing that you also mentioned that expanding last year, well, you started a brand new business with Phil.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So you even expanded your business there. You expanded your horizons by actually having partnership rather than just being a solopreneur.
Right.
So you've done a lot in the 2017.
I did.
Year. And for those of you that are actually just hearing the podcast, Noa was talking about expanding into Israel. Well, that's because you're Israeli, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the reason she picked Israel out of just all of the countries in the world, is because that is your. Were you born in Israel, or were you born in the U.S.?
Yeah, no, I was born in Israel. As you can hear by my accent, I can't get rid of it.
So what is your next steps with this international business that you're doing?
Okay, so right now we are building and creating a company here in America that's going to be like a bridge between American entrepreneurs to Israeli entrepreneurs. So one of the things that we do, we're going to coach also the entrepreneurs in Israel how to conduct business in America, because there's a huge gap actually in culture. Okay, for example, when I talked to the CEO yesterday, we had a conference call. Oh, he's going to listen to this call, he's going to kill me. So we're talking to a really nice girl here that she has her own app for networking. Great idea, her app is ready. So he wanted to tell her, is there a possibility for you to come to visit Israel? Maybe we can work together. Maybe I can introduce you to people. So he said, okay, so when are you coming to Israel? Are you coming soon to Israel? And I was like, He means to say, I always soften the things, like the tone of the voice of Israel is me too, very aggressive. I had to learn how to tone it down and to be more softened. So right now I'm kind of a different breed, because when I'm going to Israel, there's like, oh my God, she's so not like Israeli. She's so nice. She's so relaxed and she's too polite. However, the same person here in America, I was like, come on, Noah, you're too aggressive. Can you tone it down a little? Okay.
And actually,
Somewhere in between.
I do talk about to other people about that as well. It's like, I've got my friend, I said Noah, which is Israeli, and I've got a couple of my Russian friends. And they're usually very direct. They're not going to beat around the bush, and that's true, because I mean, if you're dealing with the cultural differences, I mean, I get it. You want to get to the point because you want to get it accomplished and be done. I get
Right.
that. But in America, we're more laid back. We're more like, okay, let's just take our time in doing this. Stop being so direct, because we are all about beating around the bush. We're all about subtleties and things.
And we're not, as an Israelis. Here's one thing. You can meet an Israeli on the street, like them, you can have coffee with them, you can go to the bar and immediately set up time to start a business together. Israelis are very fast, very direct. Okay. The Americans, they like to date forever. They're conducting a business, okay? And on top of everything, right, there's the holidays. So the months from the whole month of December, it's the holidays time. And I was like, so what? I was still having business meeting and calling people and conference call, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and it's right after. Why? I mean, I don't understand it. For me, it's hard to understand. The country is literally shutting down for so many holidays. Oh, it's before Valentine's. Oh, it's my birthday. Oh, I'm going on vacation. I got to pack a week prior to that. I was like, how much? And you want to create your own business? I talk to so many people so many times. They want to have a business. They want to move forward. And I say, okay, if you ask me to be up 5 o'clock in the morning for an important call, I'll be up. If I need to stay up until 11 or midnight because the call, do it. Okay, because this is how we're going to move forward. We are not 9 to 6 people. It doesn't work like that.
No, if for those of you that are entrepreneurs or thinking to become one, you're not working the regular day job. I mean, you have to, like Noah said, let's say you have a conference call you want to be on, but it's in New York and you live in California. And the call is at 9 a.m. in the morning, New York time. Well, that's 6 a.m. in the morning, your time. Or if you happen to be in Hawaii, that could be 4 in the morning. So you have to conduct your business around your clients' schedules. Granted, you have some control over that. You try to have some control over that. But if you're dealing, especially if you're doing something that's international, I mean, you have to take all of that stuff into account. I mean, I always joke about, what about the stock day trader that lives in Honolulu? I mean, markets close at 4 o'clock in the afternoon at New York time, which is going to be, 6 hours earlier, which is 10 o'clock in the morning. And they open up.
I always tell people, when people start, honestly, when I want to help entrepreneurs, if I feel that they are interested, not committed, I'm not there. Also helping people grow their business and connecting them to the incubator in Israel. If I tell a person, look, there's a time difference, I cannot do anything about it. Can we do it 10 o'clock at night? Can we have a call? And usually they'll say yes. But if somebody cannot do that, I don't work with them, because you know this. How do you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you find excuses, not today, not tomorrow, I'm too tired, it's not the right time, it's my downtime, or I can't work with them. So the beauty of doing what we do, we can choose our client and we can choose whom do you like to work with. And personally, I like to work with people like me that are really motivated. Okay, they're go-getter.
And that's a good thing that you say that, because most people, I think, when they're starting out, they'll almost take on just about anybody. And if they're taking on, let's say, people that are not motivated, that are not committed, that, as you were saying, they were just interested, then they will probably just get interested results.
Exactly.
And then either that would leave a bad taste in the mouth for the coach, saying, I couldn't help this person. I did everything I could. Do I even know if I should be coaching? Or it could even lead to even a bad review. Because you say the coach is saying, okay, I'm not going to work with this person. I'm going to work with this person. But because they're not motivated, they're not getting the results done. They're not doing the work. They're going to blame the teacher. They're going to blame the coach.
People go to coaches, like they use coaches' help, or even therapists, any kind of professional, or they go to an event, and then at the end, they don't understand. You need to do the work. We can't do the work. We just give you the skills. We give you the tools to do it. We help you. But it's like you said, oh, I want to be on a diet, but I don't want to quit eating, okay?
And I want to go on a diet, but you're
eat unhealthy food, or I want to be a millionaire, right? Everyone is like today, what is to be a millionaire? I want to be very wealthy, but I don't want to stay up late at night, or I don't want to work, and I don't want to go out and network. And you hear more about what people don't want to do than what they really should do.
And that is very, very true, because I know I became an entrepreneur ideally when I first moved to Vegas in January 2004. I got here January 30th, 2004, and I've not worked a corporate job since then. I've not worked part-time or full-time.
Right.
And some years were good years, some months were good months, and some months were scarce months. I mean, everything goes up and down, but if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you have to put in those extra hours, especially in the beginning. Until you scale your business, have other people do the work for you, you have to put in those hours yourself.
Right.
So, and I mean, we have a friend. He was actually my very fourth broadcast, and I did not know that this happened. This is what went through him. So, but he was the very first person I interviewed. It was a gentleman by the name of Jim Gusick.
And, oh my God, he's my friend.
Yes, I know. And with Jim, I mean, I did not know that he started in an industry that he knew very little information about. He ended up scaling the business to where he had employees, and then 10 years after he started doing the business, he sold the business to somebody else and started another business.
Wow.
So at the beginning, I mean, he was scaling the business to make it to be able to sell it. And I would strongly suggest Noah, or the listeners out there, go and listen to his show, because it's just a phenomenal show. It was actually my first time doing an interview, so you'll hear me not being the greatest interviewer, but it was, when you start your business, you have to look at it to how many you are going to have. It's like a baby. You're going to have to put in a lot of hours into it.
Yeah.
So, and you can't go in there with a 9-to-5 attitude or 9-to-6 attitude. I mean, heck, most networking meetings start at 6 or 7 o'clock at night anyway.
Or early in the morning, like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, you go for networking.
Right, because a lot of the networking is because people may have, let's say you may run a printing business, so you're at your office from 9 to 5, where you're running your company. So a lot of people have brick and mortar type businesses. That's why they either meet in the morning or they meet after hours of a normal day job.
Right.
Okay, so Noah, tell me a little bit. How did you and Phil decide to work together? How did you form this company?
It started by me meeting Phil in another event and complaining. That's how we met. I went and said, you're in charge, I need to complain about something. And as I was complaining, and Phil, Phil, he was, I'm looking around to see if he's going to bring the guard to kick me out of the program. And actually he really liked what I had to say, because it was legit. I wasn't complaining for the sake of complaining. I complained because there was something that didn't agree with my values. He got it. And then we became good friends because we realized that we have so much in common that we share. And at that time, I refer him some clients, and we start talking. You know, how is it with friends? We network, we talk about who we are, what we want to do. He was my coach for a while. And then at some point, we realized that we're actually completing each other. Like, our values were the same. Really the same, like respect, honesty. We like to change people. We like to help people. There was so much in common. And he always said, I saw Noah in the room networking. That was the event that you were there too, I remember.
Yeah, you're in the bar or dining area.
I don't remember, but he said to me after, okay, you know what? How about we will join forces together and we'll work together, because we actually do almost the same. But I bring my own unique skills to the table. He brings his skills to the table. So that's how we formed the company.
Okay, and that was in 2017 when you formed it.
It started 2016, but we really started being active at 2017.
Okay, because me being a business coach and I call it an entrepreneur coach, there's been a few people that I've interviewed that are also in a very similar line of business, and one way people could look at it is that, hey, they're my competition. Why am I having them on the show? But I looked at it more from, how can we collaborate? Exactly. How can we work each other out? Because there's going to be people that's going to come across your path that maybe you're too aggressive for them. Maybe from their perspective, but Phil is a great person that he could work with them a lot better than you could. And there's maybe some people that'll come to you and say, you know what, I need somebody that's in my face all the time, and Phil maybe is not quite that strong from their perspective, and you would be the great idea. Back in 2008. There was a lady that I started a business, and it was only short-lived because it was during the housing crunch, and we were helping people decide if they should let their house go to foreclosure or not. And then we put them into contact with the proper attorneys and go from there. Now I'm a Pisces. I'm more of a laid-back, easygoing kind of a person. And my friend, she is, and I'm going to do a stereotype here, and so please, people out there, I'm just giving you a stereotype. That's not a judgment call, but she's a Leo. She's a redhead, and she's a redhead and a Leo. So a redhead meaning strong personality, and then a Leo meaning go out there and claw at you. And we formed a company, and I ended up calling it Lionfish, because lions. Just like the little fish thing. And it was perfect because her aggressive nature was perfect for my easygoing nature, because we were my most exact opposites, but we both still had the same value, the same idea of getting it out there. So instead of us being competition, is, hey, let's just work together.
That's actually, he likes my direct, the fact that I was very direct. He liked it. And this is our company. We say everything to each other in a nice way, kind of.
Well, it's not meant to be taken.
Like, we had a meeting last week. We did an assessment for the year. It's Phil and I and our marketing guy, Ken McClory. You probably know Ken. So we looked at each other, and I looked at them and said, okay, guys, I'm looking around. We all gain weight. We're going on a diet. Or if you would have a call, after every call we do, every time we did momentum, every time we have a meeting, we'll do an assessment. Noah, how was the call? And we'll be honest with each other, okay? There's no hiding, and we all know that comes from a place of love and a place like we want to improve. And we did improve, each one of us. Personality-wise, we all improved, and also in the company. So things are, if we're going to continue to be like everything is great, is perfect, we're going to be stuck. So I think that to be direct and honest with each other help the company. And I tell this to people also, and people that deal with me, if they want me to go around the bush, I'm not their person, because I don't know how to do it. I know how to be direct in a way that coming from a place like, I want to work with you, I want to help you, and let me tell you what I see, okay, or what I feel, because, and I'll tell them, I'm very transparent. I'll say, here's what I notice. And I'll go one by one. I notice this doesn't work for you. I notice that there's a fear. I notice that you're not committed. I notice that you didn't show up for the meeting. I notice that you were late. I'll tell them what I see. And together we can work a plan that's going to help to move you forward for your success. But if you don't want me to be real, I'm not for you. I'm not the right person to work with you, because I don't know how.
Okay, and I mean there's a lot to be said about that, because, and I said this on a couple of shows. And do you remember the guy? Have you seen a Geico commercial with Abraham Lincoln?
Yes.
And the woman is putting this dress on. She goes, does this dress outfit make me look fat? And she's like, and she's obviously an overweight woman. It's like,
Probably would say it's not flattering.
but the thing is, you could beat around the bush and you could tell them what they want to hear, but it's not to their advantage.
Exactly.
Like, for an example, if Noah, if we just had lunch and you had something dangling in your teeth, or you put on let's say we go out and you put on an outfit and say, hey, how does this look on me? If I say, oh, it looks good, but I know it doesn't look good, and everybody else will say it doesn't look good, then it's not to your best interest to put on that outfit.
This I'll share with you. I've been in events. I've been so many times in places that I felt something is wrong. And one of them, we were in an event together. Remember, we're not going to mention names, okay? That the presenter was very successful, hundreds of people in the room. And I'm there and everybody is excited and it was a great show. And I'm looking around and I said, wow, they're ripping us off because we don't get much. It's a show, but we don't get much out of this show. It's like it's all about, I felt that the presenter was all about herself, promoting their business, okay? And I shared it with you, but most people were excited. But then after that, I realized, talking to you, talking to other people that were honest, they said the same thing. People, and it happens to me so many times, I'll be in somewhere and they'll sell a product. And I'll be like, no, this is wrong. The person here is there's not good ethics, okay? And something is off here. And I would share it with, if it's a business transaction there, I would share it with the people that are involved. And it happens to you. And I said, no, this person, it's not a person I want to do business with because, but people around me, no, everyone said it's good. I was the only one that's standing up and saying, no, something is wrong. And at the end, I realized that it's all come from my values. And if it's against my values, so if I sense something, I don't care how many people say it's good. If I'm starting to feel that there's a conflict that I'm not comfortable, I would rather to lose, okay, and back up, or maybe reassess, or maybe do my homework better than do it because everyone is doing it too.
Right. And I have been to an event before where I wasn't sure if you were at the event or not. And I was accidentally given a free ticket. Because the person I was given, because the person who was supposed to be given to was somebody that had a very similar name as mine. And so she gave me the ticket and I said, yeah, I'll be interested in going. And then like 2 days later, she goes, that ticket wasn't for you, but I could get another one for somebody else, for the person she intended it for. So I went to the event. So I didn't have anything financial in the event, with the exception of travel and lodging. And I was at the event with my accountability partner, Junita Thakur-Lau, and going to the event, and I was like, okay, I did get a little. It's a 3-day event. I says I did get a little bit of value out of it. I mean, a couple of nuggets, but most of the whole event was a sell-a-thon for another event.
I know.
I mean, she even had a panel up there talking about how good her event is, so of 9 people or something like that.
I think we were at the same event. Was it a year ago or a year and a half ago?
Something like that. We could talk offline about who that is.
Yeah, I think we were at the same event.
So yeah, I don't want to, because she's helped other people. I'm not gonna knock her down, but that was just my take on the event. It could have been the same one. So Noah, tell me a little bit about when you started getting at your coaching, some about your early successes. Now, what were some of the things that got you to say, hey, yeah, I can actually do this?
So one success is transforming people's lives. So here's one example. I had a client that her relationship with her dad were really bad, to the point that she couldn't even say his name or dad, or she called him, or she called him names. So she was a client of mine. So I worked with her for a while on changing her attitude toward her father, also working with her. And I explained to her, it's really not about your dad. It's about you resolving it if you want to get married. She was over 30 years old. She wanted to get married. And I said, in order for you to move forward, you want to resolve it. You want to make peace with your dad. You want to forgive him. And we talk about all the stages. And I said, she had some things she didn't agree with her dad. And I said, look, you tell me. Is your dad really getting up every morning and thinking, okay, I'm going to hurt her today. I got to hurt this person. He's not. So whatever he does out of his values, the way he was brought up to try to help you. So these are the skills and the tools he has that he's using what he has. So we were able to overcome this. While she was there, she moved out of the house. Then they work in the business together. She worked out of the business. So anyhow, long story short, she went back to the business. She learned how to communicate with him. She learned how to talk to him. She realized that she needs to have her own place. So she started and moved out of the house, and she moved to her own apartment. A few months later, she's not from America, from a different country, the family. She moved to that country, met a guy, got engaged. She's getting married this summer. And it's all because she came to me for one thing only, help me to resolve this issue with my dad. But it's like a ripple effect. She resolved the issue with their dad, and then she resolved the issue with her mom, and then the issue with her sister, and then she started dating, and now she's getting married, the business doing better. So sometimes it's like, a chain of pearl necklaces, okay? If one goes off, then everything is goes off, but if you start putting it together, okay, now it's so beautiful and it's strong. So that's what we did. We took care of one pearl, and then all of a sudden it become a complete.
Yeah, and actually, I used to have issues with my mother as well. And you're also, I believe you're talking about an NLP technique called people are doing the best they can with the tools that they have.
Exactly.
And I've done a lot of stuff through PSI seminars, other people from both of those courses. I mean, I've done a lot of work just like yourself. And yes, it's how I normally approach something like that is, look at it from their perspective. Like you just said, is he getting up every day? What am I going to do to my daughter? No, he's getting up every day. This is how he reacts. It's just with my mom that I looked at and said, okay, how did my mom grow up? What was her life like? What was that? And it's like, okay, I can see why she would behave the way she does because of when she grew up, the time frames, how poor it was, and all of that. So yeah, thank you for sharing that.
It's like what you see when we deal with people. I always say, what you see is not what you see. What you see, it's actually translation to what you see. And under this, there's so many thoughts, when you talk to a person, you don't talk to the person right now. You talk to the person and his values, his beliefs, his background, okay? Especially you see it in relationship, or if it's your boss, okay? Or this is your partner in life. We always judge people or communicate with people the way we want to see ourselves, the way we judge ourselves, not understanding or realizing I cannot talk to her like I have my inner calls or inner talk. That person maybe won't understand what I'm trying to say. So always, like you said, understand what's their background, where they're coming from, and now create a bridge of understanding, okay? Mm-hmm. Between you and the person. And now we cannot do it like right now in a small podcast, but there are so many techniques and ways of communicating and understanding the person that is in front of you.
Mm-hmm. And it could be like what you're going through right now, a cultural difference between the average Israeli business owner and the average American business owner.
Right.
The Israeli business owner and the American consumer.
I always said, so-and-so means to say, and what his goal is, I'm always softening it between the two people.
So you're a mediator. Okay.
I'm a mediator, yeah, for entrepreneurs.
So tell me about maybe some of your fears. What fears did you have early on, and how did you get past those?
Okay, my number one fear was because of my accent, I was always cautious. My English is not perfect. I have an accent. how can I do public speaking? How can I talk to people that have perfect English? Because in my country, I have a perfect handwriting. I have a perfect, my grammar is good. When I communicate in my own language, I'm totally a different person. And then I was like, well, people accept me because I'm not perfect. Okay, I don't speak the way you speak. I don't have the same vocabulary. And that was my challenge, but I overcome it by one step at a time. Just like I learned how to swim, I learned how to talk to people. I even wrote 2 books. My goodness, it was my dream. It's like, and I wrote it in English. I was like, how can I do it when English is not my first language? And I find a way around it to publish 2 books. The idea is like, there's a challenge for everything. There's a problem. I mean, this is our life, okay? It goes up and down, up and down. So what I learned to do is to find solution for everything. So in order to improve my English, I start going to all the seminars, taking notes in English. I used to translate and then say, no more. I'm going to write it in English as is, even though nobody's going to read my notes beside me. So who cares? So I started writing my notes in English. Then I started reading only in English. So that was my solution. Then I took some classes about how to deliver a message. And then I started my own meetup in San Diego. Phil and I started a meetup, and I started doing more and more speaking at the meetup. And now it's like so natural to me. I mean, if you're going to say, hey, Noah, and Phil is a great partner, great trainer, he won't tell me. And sometimes we have a meetup. I say, okay, Noah, you're leading to them. It's like, what? Where's my notes? What do I need to do? I don't know. And how am I going to do it? I say, don't worry. Don't speak from your head. Speak from the heart. So I start getting used into these surprises. And now if I need, even today, you asked me to come to the show, to the podcast, and I had no idea what I'm going to talk about. In the past, I used to have notes. I used to have the question in advance. I used to think about it a few weeks prior to make sure I'm doing a good job. And now it's like a muscle. You build the muscles by going to the gym and exercising, doing routines. That's what I do now. I build that muscles in the last 2 years.
And yeah, you get stronger by repeated by doing things over and over again. Like you said, at the meetup, it's not a meetup on how to be a speaker. It's because you're the organizer of the group, so therefore you're in front of the group for whatever the topic is.
Right.
Like I go to a podcasters meetup all the time, once a month, a bloggers meetup, a YouTube meetup, and I said the podcasters is I don't know if they're married, but they just call it a husband and wife team, and they're always in front of the room. They're the one coordinating it, so they're getting used to be in front of the room of 20, 30 some odd people.
Yeah.
So for those of you out there that are just starting a business, maybe creating your own meetup group could be something that you could also be thinking about. What is it that let's say if you're a coach, why don't you start your own coaching meetup on whatever it is that you coach on? If you're an impact coach, if you're a coach on finances, you could easily create a meetup on that, have a monthly meeting.
And I'm going to add another, one more way of practicing your speech or practicing and being comfortable in front of people. There's so many nonprofit organization that would love to hear your message. Okay. So just get into a habit of be at service to people, even if it's 10 people, 20 people, just be at service. Go and speak about something that you're passionate about and can help people. So, and then because here's where the stress comes up. When you get paid for something or you going to an event and I got to give a speech today because if I give this speech, I may get a gig out of it. And I may, when you're coming from that point of view, you're stressed, you're not confident, you don't know if you're going to do a good job or not. But when you come to an event and say, hey, let me be at service, let me just be a speaker, I can talk to you about, okay, and you do it over and over again, all of a sudden you're so comfortable and it will get you where you want to get with no agenda. I know so many of my friends were just out there speaking for free, like pro bono. And someone was in the room, heard them. One of my friends now, he got a huge contract. He was in the room doing a gig for free. somebody heard him, introduced him to his boss, and now he got, I think it's, what is it, couple $1,000 to do a workshop for someone. So be at service. That's all I can say. And get comfortable with your message.
Right, and that's very good that you say that, because you can go out there and you can practice your talk. You don't have to be selling anything. You don't have to be paid to be at that event, and you may not even be asking for their emails or anything. You're just going there and getting practice, being in front of the room, delivering your message. Exactly. And like you said, you just never know who's going to be out in the audience. I mean, just let's look at sports as a perfect example. There's scouts that are going to all the baseball games, football games, basketball, and all of that. And they're watching for that unknown talent, the high school student possibly, of like that may be performing well. And we're not even talking about at major high schools. And they would just say, hey, this person is playing well because they're just out there playing, giving it their all. You're giving your talk and you're giving it all. You just never know who's out in the audience. Well, one thing, and also speak wherever you can. I mean, I gave a talk in October, and I think I've mentioned this. Noah doesn't know this, but I've mentioned this a couple of times, where I put my name in a hat to speak at a WordPress conference. And they called it WordCamp in Las Vegas. And it's all about all of these WordPress designers, app builders, plugin builders, all of the stuff, how to create your websites. And yes, I created the Kevin A. Dunlap page, but by no means am I an expert. I mean, I created the page by watching a YouTube video. So then now I put in my name to talk at a conference, and then like 2 or 3 weeks later, this is 2 weeks before the event, I get a call and says, yes, we would like for you to speak at our conference. Like, what am I going to talk about? and I had a 30-minute block of time. Now I had an event called Wizard Training coming up the following day, so I had to go on the first. I had to talk on the first day and then leave immediately to drive to this training. However, the talk went well, and I talked about how to automatically put your podcast onto your website. So, because I've done it a couple of times myself, and I practiced it, and I practiced the talk, and it's not my signature talk by no means, but it gave me more experience in being in front of the room.
Exactly. I have a great example for you. I went to an event in Orange County, and I see this speaker talking about LinkedIn. And so many people were in the room. It was 200 people. I was like, oh, I'd like him to come to my meetup, and now I'm not going to pay him. How I'm going to approach him? And I missed that window of opportunity. Happens that he was speaking on another event in Orange County. I drove an hour just to say, hey, Frank, I like you. Can we talk? I'd like you to be a guest speaker at our meetup, right? Seriously, I drove to that meetup just so I can say hi, Frank. So I did it. And Frank, actually, he was like, and that's his specialty. Frank says, I would like you to interview him also at one point. He talks about LinkedIn. And I said to him what I said, and he's like, sure, I'll come to your meetup. I said, are you sure? Because he lives in Orange County. We're in San Diego. We're talking an hour and a half away. I said, no, I don't mind. So he did came to my event, to my meetup. As we were like preparing for the meetup, we had great turnout that day. We usually have in the meetup 15 to 20 people. We had 60 people, over 60 people, yes. And then because of that, we realized we are onto something good. And in the meanwhile, we started working with Frank. I said, Frank, would you like to have a workshop on LinkedIn? I can bring my community and I'll create a workshop for you. So we did. We had, I think, 40 people. We created a workshop for Frank in San Diego, 40 people. Now, Frank realized that, oh, he wasn't even a speaker. But working with us, guess what? Now he has his own podcast. Okay, now he's doing public speaking. Now he's going on stages. And now he called me again last week and said, hey, Noah, I want to do an event. Just you and Phil and I, let's do one day event about mindset and LinkedIn. Okay, crazy. And all I did is like, hey, would you like to be a speaker in my meetup? And it was at service.
And the thing was, you were too afraid. You were basically afraid to approach him the first time. Like he's speaking in front of all these hundreds of people. He's not going to speak at my little group. It
was the first time he was doing a public speaking. He had no idea what he's doing. We laughed today, and today we coach him too. Funny, also coaching, and he see the way we work and how we help them. So now he said, okay, I want a joint venture. I want to work with Phil and Noa because he see the benefits of like and our professionalism. He also came to my event. So you see how he do it now. He was a student actually at they was the masters when he did a 1-day workshop.
Okay. Well, so there you go right there, people that are watching or listening to the show. Take advantage of those opportunities because you just never know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
And I mean, and the fact that because that person's on the stage, and you're putting that person on a pedestal,
Yes.
they are still just your everyday average person. And if Noah did not go and speak to this guy Frank, then where would he be now? Where would he be today?
Right.
He would have had a completely different course in his life.
Oh yeah, or different goals for 2018.
True. That is true.
Yeah.
So we're about to go ahead and be wrapping up here in a moment. Could you tell us a little bit about maybe one or two of your big challenges that you overcame? Possibly maybe it was a failure or a setback, and how did you overcome those?
I don't know if I can call it failure. I can say in the past, I had a different partner, a woman, that we tried to work together and do like create a partnership like Phil and I right now. But I noticed, even though she's a dear friend of mine till today, I love her, we're friends, but I noticed as far as doing the business, she didn't treat me equally. I felt like when I start to feel I'm stupid or the person in front of me doesn't give me credit for my ideas, okay, I'm starting to feel like, okay, they don't, because I have, maybe it's my accent, maybe it's my, I don't know, technology skills or whatever. So then that was tough because I liked her and I just transitioned out of it. We're still friends. But that was a challenge. What do I do when I work with people, they don't like me? For me, this is a challenge. They don't accept me for who I am.
And just be a business partner.
As a business partner. And also in life. So in life, it's easy. If somebody doesn't accept me for who I am, I can also say goodbye. I'm out. Easy. But before I say goodbye and I'm out, I like to give people a way, I like not to give them a chance, but a way for them to see me maybe in a different light. Maybe it's their issues with foreigners. Maybe I push the button. I'm kind of very pushy, and maybe that's something that a woman pushy. Sometimes it's hard. I don't know. So instead of like being like, oh my God, this person is so evil, or calling them name, I'd like to find a way to channel and create a bridge or better communication, better relationship. If this still doesn't work, I'm just moving away and I learn how to bless people. Okay, they don't, and it happens to me within my own company. We have people that we have a little bit of a conflict. We learn to release, not to be reactive, not to hate. I don't like the word hate. But I learned to let go things in my life that I was holding, and they're not helping me. They're actually taking away from me. So that was a challenge for me. If you think, what was your challenge? Not to react to situation and to respond when my initial feeling is like, I gotta react. I'm mad. And so I let myself be mad, but immediately I have my own self-talk. And if this doesn't work, I'll call Phil, because he knows, he's a partner. So he knows where I'm coming from. He would help me to look at things the other way. So you got to do it, by the way, accountability partner or partner that a friend, when you offline a little bit, when you're like not balancing your life and you're about to do something wrong, okay, call someone that is totally the opposite from you and ask them to help you to see whatever happens from a different point of view.
And I fully agree with that. I've had that conversation with a few of my clients where it's like, don't send that email yet. Wait till tomorrow morning. Send it tomorrow morning. That way your emotional aspect has been lowered.
So here's what you do. You send the email to yourself. You read it in the morning.
There you go. So you get the pleasure of hitting the send button.
It's the right email to send. Send it to yourself and look at it again before you send it.
Right. Okay. Well, we're going to be wrapping up here. So Noa, any last minute tidbits that you would like to give to people before we leave?
Yes. Something about communication and networking. I'd like to give the audience something to to think and pay attention. When you're networking and you meet new people, the tendency so many times is like, let me tell you about my business, or let me tell you about everything I do, and how can you be part of my business? How can I sell you my product? So what I tell people, first connect with the person, learn to know who is in front of you, and people feels it. If you're all about selling, people knows that. If you want to expand yourself, if you want you want people to do things for you, first, like you heard, be at service first, okay? Learn to know what is it about that person. Tell yourself, find something in common, okay? And the last thing, follow up on that lead. When you go to an event, look at us. We are friends over 3 years, right? And because we follow up on that. You called me, I called you, I don't remember who, we sent text messages, holidays, sometimes you and I, we won't talk for months.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, Kevin, I'm coming to Las Vegas. We realized that we're going to be at the same event. I think I called you to say Happy New Year or Merry Christmas. And you say, hey, no, I'm doing this podcast and can you be on the podcast? It's out of the blue. So what I'm saying, when you're in the car, make it to a habit of yours every day or once a week, whatever it's convenient to call people to say, hey, I'm just here to call to say hi. How you doing? And be really honest about it. Care about people. When you come from this point of view, okay, when this is your thoughts and your thoughts and your heart are in alignment, people knows that they like you. So when times come and now you want to engage them in your business, now you say, who else do you know that would like my business? How can you help me? They'll be willing to go the extra mile in order to see your success because they like you.
Right, and they want to see you succeed just like you want to see them succeed. So and it's good to reach out to people that you may have not talked to in a while, every once in a while.
Right.
Just to maintain that connection, that human connection.
Right, exactly.
So Noa, if somebody wanted to work with you, how do you have a website that they, or have a way that they can contact you?
They can't. No, I'm kidding. Of course they can. I'm the communication coach. They have to. The company, they can definitely send us an email to the company. And our company, as we said, is the Accelerated Leadership Academy, but our email address is www.tala.life. T for Tom, A for Apple, L for Larry, A for Apple, .life, L-I-F-E. That's it. No .com, not nothing. It's just tala.life.
Tala.life. Okay, that's a new ending I haven't seen before.
Yeah,
okay, so they can reach you through your website. All your information's on there. All the stuff that you do is all on there.
Yes, everything is there. If they're in San Diego, we have Meetup. And if you're in the area, send us a message. We'd love to meet with you, invite you to our events. If you want to know more about what we do, because what I shared with you is just really tip of the iceberg of everything we do.
Okay. Well, so everybody just go ahead and go on to tala.life. You find out more what they can do. And Noa, I want to say it was a pleasure having you on the show today. Thank you. This was a great experience for me.
Same here, and I'm looking forward for next time when we meet.
I am too. That's just a couple of weeks away, 2 to 3 weeks away.
Right. Okay, Kevin. Thank you. Have a lovely afternoon. What?
And you as well. Thank you very much. Everybody, have a good day.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Life's Little Lessons with your host, author of Designing Your Own Destiny, Kevin A. Dunlap. For more great content and to stay up to date, visit kevinadunlap.com, facebook.com/kevinadunlap.author, and on Twitter @KevinADunlap. We'll catch you on the next episode of Life's Little Lessons.